strategy for nationals, beyond all of the prizes and the logistical stuff. We've got legal product is the biggest change since regionals. All Star Trek Attack Wing releases through Wave 14 and Peak Performance are allowed. Wave 15 and Q Continuum OP kit materials will not be allowed. So that takes us all the way up to... what was it? I already forgot. What comes out in Wave 14? Is that this next one?
Give me a moment. I'm pulling that up.
It's definitely everything we have released so far.
No, this wave coming up is 13.
So we will have access to...
Avenger, Krenim Timeship, and Pegasus is 14.
Mm-hmm. So there will be a few more releases until we know exactly what's going to be on the block. And of course, actually, Wave 14 is not even going to be released by then.
It was supposed to have been out.
Well, no, it's just going to be whatever is in the Gorn wave.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but yeah, because it was before the port delay.
Gotcha.
Wave 14 would have come out in April.
So there'll have to be a very quick turnaround on the ISS Enterprise, the Gornaris, and the Reklar to see if there's anything that will be added to this before Nationals comes up. We might not have a lot of time because when is that due to be released?
Like
whoa! I just thought of something. You guys keep talking. I'm gonna look up something.
It's either April 1st or April 8th that pack comes out, or that wave comes out. So
let's see. Cool Stuff has it listed at April 1st. So at best, you will have a week and a half to play with these things before you're forced to determine if they're good enough for your nationals list.
Well,
the odds are no. At least not ship-wise, but I could see a card or two sneaking in.
Well,
Tucker,
when you take damage for a meteor shower, is there a compare results step?
Meteor shower. Oh,
yes,
no.
because you roll defense dice.
Improved deflector screens makes you immune to meteor shower.
Wow. Nice.
When defending during the compare results step, David's right, there's defense dice. When defending during the compare results step, if you have any active shields, cancel one hit or crit result.
Nice. So that will be one card at least that will be coming up soon. That will be will surely be a pick for some people.
Yeah, and we're not
qualifiers. I mean, you're looking at potentially 11 rounds. We're going to see meteor shower at least 3 times.
And it's not like it's a bad card anyway. I mean, we're not doing the Gornaris preview today, I think, right? We're doing that next week. But
yeah,
that's easily the most relevant card from this pack, so.
That's something to consider.
But yeah. Thank you, Tucker, for giving us that wonderful look of dismal future for all of us. I hope you're proud of yourself.
What?
We plan these things. Sorry, the design team plans these things. I'm certain of it. But yeah. So until we get some more information on that, we went over, you know, me, Tucker, and David. Tucker, David, and I. I love doing English.
Some English good there, Will.
I know, right?
Tucker, David, and I, if it's a subjective.
And we went over some of the lists that will probably be... I should have come up with a better name for this, but I'm going to call them the scrub lists because they're just the easy thing to run. They're not. That doesn't. If you run them, that doesn't necessarily make you a terrible player. It just makes you a terrible person.
They're not scrub lists. They're top tier lists.
Yeah.
Scrubless is running Romulans and complaining that Borg are overpowered when you lose to them.
That might be a thing. But
Romulans are actually not a great example of that anymore. Bajorans or something, maybe.
Good old Bajorans.
Faction pure Bajorans. No. Faction pure Ferengi.
So the things that topped out our list is probably the most common. Back at regionals, it was Picard Ducat spheres and well, basically any kind of attack negation cube, for the most part. These are the lists that we don't think will win. Probably, at least I don't think they'll win. I feel like a more original list can overcome them, but they might win. But they are strong enough that a lot of people will probably play them. And if you cannot get by at least one or two of them with regular ease, then you will probably not be looking too well in the tournament.
It's worth mentioning that there are two lists from the previous regionals that no longer work due to Wharf rulings, which are double Borg missile spheres due to the Borg missile nerf and Dreadnought Voyager. Unfortunately, those were the Ducat spheres and attack cancellation cubes' main predators in the environment. So, yeah.
Yeah, and so now on top of that, we have with opening up those extra 30 points we put in our blind, we open up some new possibilities, and the replacement I think for Picard Ducat spheres is going to be the 3-sphere officer exchange program with 3 decent captains for your spheres. Just lots of ships, lots of just really solid ships all around because they are Borg. I mean, Borg are amazing. And
they're the Borg. The Borg are amazing.
Just having more dice and more survivability than everybody else. A couple of possibilities for this one are going to be I personally pick for this one Picard, Decker, and Terrell with Officer Exchange Program Federation Borg. That gets you a 2, a 3, and a 9. Picard, of course, is always awesome, and then Decker is about the best you can get for the 1 point you have left over. And not too bad on a Borg ship since he has lots of shields to turn into crits.
I actually was fond of... what was I doing? I was doing Ducat... what was it? It was... Yeah, there we go. It was Ducat, either Dinar or Avec, and Luarin.
Mm-hmm.
Or
that doesn't help you too much, but Luarin has a nice little effect.
Actually, you know what you could do? Ready for this? You could do Ducat Luarin which gives you a free Brigade, and Kivon.
Kivon doesn't work on Borg though.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I thought of that too. That would have been awesome. Unless you want to turn one of those spheres into a type, the Borg type 07 or whatever it is.
Assume. No, you don't.
Assume.
Oh.
Good old Sung. The other one that seemed like a pretty good deal was the 3 Klingons all at skill 5. Nudak, Worf, and Samra Commander. Also not bad. You could go independent with 2 of the Alpha Herodian. You'd have a 0-cost captain in there. I don't think there's any 1-cost independent captains, and at least any good ones. You could get like the Tholian. Yeah,
I mean that's better than skill. It's better than skill 0 though. You could do Romulans. You could do you could do Donatra.
Mirak's a good one for Romulans, but besides that,
you could do Donatra, Mendak, Centurion.
Even going off faction with some of this, Going Mirror O'Brien with Romulan Mirok is a good way to frustrate your opponent sometimes, I'm sure. And also works all right against Meteor Shower.
Mendak has to be on a Romulan ship.
Oh, god damn it, that's right.
But yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of possible combinations. Pick 3 of your favorite kind of mid to low cost captains, and those are probably what you see. JD brings up... Is it JD? I forget your name. I'm going to call you JD for now. Brings up the Sphere Fighters, which is the next one I was going to bring up. 3 spheres is easy. 2 spheres and 2 fighters is also easy to figure out because, well, 40, 40, 20, 20. You've got you basically got all your ships there. This works about the same.
By 40, 40, 20, 20, Will means 38, 38, 24, 20. Just give him that one.
You're going for the named ones.
I mean,
I personally go for the 1 named sphere and maybe 1 captain.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like Admiral Worf.
What you could do is, if you wanted to, you could find a bunch of 1-point captains. Does anybody have 2 1-point captains like Huron and Centurion or something? If you care that much, Officer Exchange Program, they're free. Or you
I would still just rather take Admiral Worf with fighters any day.
Actually, yeah, you could do that.
But how does 3 sphere fare against sphere fighters? I do not know yet. Haven't given it a try, but I feel like it can give it a run for its money. Especially if you're going sphere fighters, you know there's no possibility of the range 3 shots from Gala-class phaser banks, and the sphere's maneuverability should be able to keep them at range 3 if you are highly adept at flying.
Well, here's the problem. As a Borg player, I see a little bit of a problem with this, which is if you think of the fighters as a battlefield control aspect, then really it becomes 3 spheres with limited movement versus 2 spheres with unlimited movement, and I would take the 2 spheres in that case. Plus, if you're running 3 spheres, especially since fighters should be fed fighters in this format due to Meteor Shower, and fed fighters have like white come-abouts, it's going to be pretty hard to keep all your ships out of arc. I mean, I think it's not a sphere fighters is like a superior matchup that's going to win every time, but I think it has a significant edge.
Yeah, but if your fighters are coming about, they're reacting to what my spheres have already done, and I'm okay with that.
Or I'm predicting your movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it would be hard to get both your fighters to bear down on the enemy at the same time, though. So it basically becomes 2 spheres and a fighter that probably won't be able to fire versus 3 spheres.
Yep, those 3 spheres, and this is what I'm saying, have a limited movement because they have to dodge 2 90-degree arcs, which can move in very unpredictable ways.
Yeah, and do we feel the planet hurts or helps the 3 sphere build? Oh, come on.
Say when we're back up. You need to think about that question anyway.
And do you feel the planet hurts or helps with 3 spheres? Having that, when we get into the territory of that many ships on the board, I feel like the planet is not as good for the Borg ships anymore. The main deal with it is that against 2 or 3 ships, it's very easy to dance around the planet 1 or 2 of your ships away from them. I think with this that point, you get too much real estate on the board for the planet to cover you well enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it all becomes about how much can you do in an opening salvo. And the problem becomes with only 3 shots, you cannot kill a fighter on 1 turn.
That's also a big issue. I mean, once you start knocking down their tokens, it's not going to be as big a deal, but...
You can't kill one, but especially Federation fighters, which is probably what's going to be run more often here. Knocking off 3 tokens brings it down to 2 attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, but every little bit helps, especially if there's a meteor shower.
Oh yeah. Meteor showers. Besides that, the last one I would probably say is going to be pretty standard is skipping the Borg spheres altogether, just going 3 ships, 3 fighters, and seeing what upgrades you can fit with that. The cheapest ship you can get with 4 hull is 18 points. That's the Surak class. So you still do have a couple extra points to play around with. For that one, I would honestly go with. I see a lot of people that would probably go with just the 3 Federation fighters and maybe load up some captains on their other ships. I would see myself, if I was going to play that, going with 1 set of the named Federation fighters with the 4 extra points you have there, with 4 of the extra points.
Yeah.
1 set of the generic Federation fighters and 1 set of the Hideki fighters. Even though the Hidekis are going to be a little more vulnerable when you hit the meteor shower, I think you have enough firepower in the other 2 to carry you through that, and the Hidekis will serve you really, really well in all of your other sector games with the extra attack power you get out of them, I think.
Especially in Nebula, which is going to limit everyone to range 2, so fighters become super good.
Oh yeah. Especially
now, go ahead.
Remember from Deep Space Nine, fortune favors the bold. And that's one of those bold plays that I think it's going to take to win Nationals. Nationals is not won by the meek.
That's true. Now, what I can do is I have a couple of options for 3 ships. I can go 3 Suraks and have like 2 points worth of upgrades, which I don't think is fantastic. I can lose the named fighters and go 3 Constitution classes, which is something I've seen floated by a lot of folks.
I just kind of automatically assume at least there needs to be at least 1 point left over for Officer Exchange and Captain Admiral Worf. Because that is how fighters are going to pierce through anyone who's going to be trying to run cloak.
Well, that's...
And there will be people that will try to run it. I don't believe they will be very successful, but if you run into them and don't have an answer for it, you could be in for a rough ride.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go 3 Suraks, one of them Captain Admiral Worf with OXP, and named Fed fighters, generic Hidekis. That's your 3 and 3 build.
You can fit 1 more point on there, probably like a Brunt or something.
No, you can't.
You sure?
18 and 18 plus 24 is 60. Plus another 20 is 80. Plus another 20 is 100. Plus 18 for the 3rd Surak. Plus 2 for Worf is 120.
It's 2 for Worf? I thought it was only 1 for Worf.
No,
after
Worf
OXP.
is 2.
After Officer Exchange?
Yes.
He costs 3 normally?
Oh, that's right. It's -1. Good point.
He costs 2 normally, so he's 1.
That's what I thought.
You throw Elim Garak on one of their ships, or Kira, or Ben Sisko.
I'll take Brunt.
I don't know. I like that Brunt call. I think being able to throw Aux Power, especially on a sphere, because if they want to clear it, they're limited to a 1, 2, 3 straight.
Predictability.
Predictability.
That's true. That's true.
I mean,
What
that's
other
the
options are
one.
there?
It's the one downfall of the sphere is that if they have Aux Power and they want to clear it, they have to do a straight.
Right.
If they don't want to clear it, they've got all the movement in the world.
Will just feels bad running a ship without Jeffrey Combs on it.
Exactly.
Don't we all? Give me Shran and I'll feel, and it becomes a lot easier.
Whatever you say, Pink Skin.
Thank you.
But yeah, once again, I don't feel like these are going to be the things that are going to win nationals. I feel that they're going to be the ones to clear the field, though, because they're just a whole heck of a lot of dice and a whole heck of a lot of destruction. Like back in the old glory days of 3-ship Klingon in Wave 1, you get the most dice, you tend to win them. You have the best. You have luck on your side. You don't need skill. You just need a good dice roll.
Yes, because as we all know, running a bunch of Klingon attack dice in quality definitely makes you win every time.
But yes, if you're looking at builds, these are the builds I think everyone should be testing against, because they will be present.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
the builds you have to overcome.
It's going to be hilarious if no one ends up bringing them, but then again, it'll also be hilarious if there's only like 4 people at the qualifier.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I am thinking that the one to beat... So I will say this. I think 3-3 loses to anything with spheres in it. Because neither Surox nor Constitution classes are very maneuverable. So I really think the build to beat here is Sphere, Fighters, Fighters.
Fighters have a lot of survivability, a lot of attack power, but if you have a ship as maneuverable enough to keep out of their range 2, could be problems. But yeah. So yeah, I don't feel like these are going to be one of the lists that we see win nationals, but the one that will beat nationals is ones that can beat these on a very regular basis. And I've been thinking of a few things, but I haven't come up with anything solid yet. I might be getting a little lazy since I'm not actually going to be making an appearance there. But there are certain things I've been playing around with, bringing back the attack negation Borg for a whirl, a Borg, some fairly heavily loaded Borg fighters and a support ship of some sort. Or there'll be quite a few things. We'll go over some of those once if I manage to get some testing in sometime in the next 2 weeks. My local scene has gone from people to me.
Ooh.
Population 1.
Yeah.
Star Wars has stolen the last remnants of my holdouts.
I've
Scum?
So you could say the last remnants of the old Federation have been swept away. That was a Star Wars reference. Anyway, yeah, I'm in the same position a little bit, as we all know. I mean, for me, I'm actually having fun just because, like, I suspect that one thing that might do well is, remember that tactical cube / Wharf attack cancellation thing I did? I figured out that if you drop it down to a diamond, you can have your crew member be Koss and throw cloaked mines on the Surok. So it's like a complete trifecta of everything everyone hated about everything. And I don't know if it's good. It strikes me as good, but it is fucking hilarious.
And cloaked mines versus fighters. If we haven't mentioned that before, I'm sure we have, but we'll mention it again here. Cloaked mines are going to be great against fighters.
Yup.
Toss away one of the. If you have the extra 20 points after your 2 ships, 2 fighters, throw in a Praetus with 2 sets of cloaked mines and have a heyday. All kinds of fun. One last question before we wrap this one up. Energy flux versus fighters. Do we feel like that's going to be how bad that's going to be? I don't think it's going to be that bad because it didn't hurt the 2 Borg sphere lists that much either.
So not only that, but it was ruled that they round up, which means that Fed fighters roll as much as Hidekis in a energy flux situation.
Although you get your bonuses after the rounding. So if you had something like Galler class phaser banks on your Hidekis, then you round down to 3. You have yourself down to 3, and then you add 1 for 4.
You need to get a 2-die bonus to be equivalent to an automatic hit.
Mm-hmm. Things to consider. We will try to find some way to test some more of these things and get back to you on what we think will be the underdog lists to beat, the thinking man's game.
The Cinderella list.
The one that
It's
the one that
college
performs.
basketball tournament time, so it's Cinderellas and
The one that performs at its peak.
yeah.
Yeah.
I see what you did there, Will.
But yeah, that is information on nationals. Some things you're going to be expecting to see there, and we will go back to look at some things we will suggest for running that does not fit in what we just said. Either next time or probably 2 weeks from now. At some point we will get it. It'll be glorious. But that will do us for nationals. Since we did get a late start and we got a lot of information there, we're going on now just to our wonderfully fun, I forgot what we call it. Top 5. How do I forget top 5? I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Oh my God, Will.
I was so disappointed by the prize structure that I just wanted to forget everything.
Can we also just talk about how upset I am that I can't quite fit Brunt on my SotF diamond? I'm 1 point short of putting Brunt on there, which would be literally the most obnoxious thing in the history of everything.
You get an Ox Power token. You get an Ox Power token. Everybody gets an Ox Power token.
Don't you have any room for a reinforcement board on there, or are you using something else?
Officer exchange. Otherwise, you can't get SotF cost and conditional surrender on there.
Gotcha.